First, the idea of a sonic attack to damage somebody's brain, which is what the idea, with sound, you'd probably destroy all the ear before. That was really stupid. The only way somebody could really be harmed if they would stand a long time next to a jet engine. It's a very large amount of noise. And the other thing is that if somebody was using loud noise, why did anyone else hear it? No Cuban, no foreign person, no tourist visit. Nobody heard these noises. And which is a sort of confusion in some people's mind, because they are sonic weapons for crowd control. There are these big speakers, and then you blast a very large sound there, and the idea is people get uncomfortable and then they disperse. It was not due to any kind of microwave or sound, because microwaves, you'd have to burn the skin to get to the brain, and that there was no evidence of an attack. Nobody could really point the finger to attack. To our surprise, a couple of years later, 7 intelligence agencies in the United States met, assessed spending millions of dollars, all the cases that had cropped up all over the world. It was like a pandemic of this, and we think was psychogenic. And then the report of the intelligence services in the U.S. is that there was no new disease, no syndrome. It's the people had real problems, but attributable to different disorders. There was no evidence of any energy weapon. So exactly the same conclusions as Cuba. I mean, we could have used that $1 million they did, but for that study, we would have produced more vaccines for poor people. But, well, they spend it on that. Now, this is a story that should be dead, but there are people interested in keeping it alive. And then recently there was this absurd program that even received a Grammy, I think, and 30 minutes, 60 minutes, one of these programs in the U.S., where they present evidence of Russians that were behind all this. And the evidence is very flimsy. The idea that the Cuban government, which has defended its independence and the sovereignty of the country against all odds, and at a tremendous price, would accept that some Russians were running around in Havana with some sort of energy gun. This is absurd. Because if you talk to the enemies of the revolution, they say, oh, the Cuban police is so efficient that it represses everyone. So you can't, so the question is, if our police is so efficient, and the Cuban government had an invested interest in working with the U.S. for better relationships. In fact, this is one of the last achievements of Raúl as president. So the idea that Cuba would permit that, that's absurd. And all this is a fantasy that has been driven by people that want to hurt Cuba, especially the lobby in Cuban lobby in the U.S. Congress. One of the first sponsors of this was Marco Rubio, and you can just judge how much you can trust Marco Rubio, but what he's doing now in the Trump administration.